you know who. I'm going to wait for some people to come into the room. And when we do, what I want to start with is we're going to have a moment of silence because, of course, today is 9/11. And I know a lot of people are probably reflecting upon the tragedy that took place now 20 years ago. So I'll wait for a bit to see if people show up. I always say, like, well, if nobody shows up, I'll just uh, cancel the live stream. But I never had that happen. I'm a lucky person. People usually show up once they see the notification and such. And I hope all of you are doing well and that life is okay for you. But again, once I have a few people that are in the room, then we will do a moment of silence for the people that perished 20 years ago on 9/11. I know for myself, I was on social media today and I did reflect on it and I shared my thoughts on this terrible tragedy that to this very day we all are probably in some way, shape, or form feeling, especially on this day. Yeah. So, and then after that, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Halloween, which is coming up only in a matter of weeks now. Before you know it, it will be Halloween. And of course, considering that this is a paranormal channel, then I will be doing some things for Halloween as well. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the possibilities of what can be done, all things considered with what's going on right now. So again, I think I see one person here. Sometimes I think it's the connection. I don't know if there's more than one person watching, but I'll just wait a little bit longer and then we will go from there and we will have our moment of silence because I think this is a shared thing and it's important to do that. While I'm waiting for that, I like to talk about some of the things that will probably alter things a bit for Halloween, of course, and that's primarily what's going on with COVID-19 here in Hawaii. Right now, today, the case numbers were really high. I don't have the exact number, but I know it was over 800 people with 10 deaths here on the islands, or in the islands. It's, the combined count. So that may play a part in what I do. And, it's just seeing how things progress going into the month of October, which for me is a very busy time. And for those of you that watch this channel a lot, you already know where we're at. We're in the the place of the tall man. Matter of fact, earlier, before I went on live, we saw like a shadow down the other side, probably a person. But all things considered, I try to keep everything in mind when it comes to that. Geico. You guys heard Geico just now? You guys heard the gecko? So yeah, I'm looking forward to everything this year for Halloween. But all things considered, I don't know when. Oh, someone give me a like. Thank you so much. 2 people watching. I appreciate it, even if it's just one person watching. I'm very grateful that you're here right now. And having what I always call a talk in the dark, where it's just me and you having a conversation. Thank you for another like. I appreciate that. You have no idea. It means a lot to me. We have a conversation about things that have to do with the paranormal. Aloha, you're here. Thank you for being here tonight. Hopefully you're doing well. Aristocat, thank you for being here as well. Hopefully you're doing good. Yeah, so I am concerned, but before we're going to all of this stuff, and 3 people or whoever, let's have a moment of silence for those that perished for the terrible tragedy that took place on September 11th. And we're still feeling it. We are. So let's have that moment of silence right now. Thank you for all that joined me in that moment of silence. I really appreciate it. And if you watch this later on, if you want to reflect a bit on that and keep it close to your heart, then that's a good thing as well. And with that being said, we'll go into the rest of this conversation that we will be having this evening. So, Halloween, big time of year for me. The big event that will be coming up will be Man Camera Ghost 3. That's what's going to be happening. Dave, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. And again, thank you for the likes, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys are all awesome individuals, and your presence here means a lot to me. Still haven't quite, placed it as far as location. Of course, that does play into the fact that we do have a very big problem with COVID-19 right now. So, that will play into a lot of things. How many things that I can do, again, where I can go to do them. So, trust me though, I'm working on it. I am. And I should have more information for you folks, as time goes on. I have to play it by ear. I have no choice with this situation. I have absolutely no choice but to play it by ear. But there will be a few things that will happen. I know that I didn't even post it yet on social media, so you guys get everything first. Those of you that are watching right now, you get everything first. That I might have to scale things back. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means I put more into what I do with less, which I think is still something worth looking into and accomplishing. Because especially with, let's see if this plane gets loud. I don't know if you can hear the plane going by. But especially with things like Man Camera Ghost, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm still kind of recovering from the last one. I'm almost 100%. Then again, we did do the Spirit Box sessions in Waikiki. That was something else too. Speaking of Waikiki, I might be doing something entirely different from that location. I'll let you folks know about that too once I get confirmation from somebody. And it should be very interesting with that. But the big thing is I want people to be happy with what I'm doing. And hopefully you are. I appreciate the feedback and everything. I know I haven't been on as much. And a lot of that has to do with, thinking about life in general. Sometimes I even think that with what's going on with COVID-19, we're still going to do a show on COVID-19. But I kind of think, my mind goes into this place where we're living in a time where anything can happen to a person because of this virus. It's already hit close to home for me. I have people that have the virus and they're very sick. Well, they were sick, very sick in the beginning. They're recovering, but one person I know is still very, very much so not completely out of the woods. Yeah, when it starts to hit home, it's within your personal space, your circle. You tend to start thinking things a lot more through. So I am going to do social distancing, but then again, you folks already know that, right? That when I do social distancing and I go to a haunted place, you think about social distancing, that's about as good as it gets. Because for the most part, people aren't around in those places. You don't really have to think too hard. But for me, the challenge is getting from point A to point B. Uber or whatever else. I still don't feel good. Lewis, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. I still don't feel good about traveling that way. I got to put everything together, right? And then get something good going for all of you folks. So once I get that figured out, it's a lot better. But once I'm in the location, it's all good. It's all good. I trust the people I go out with, Happy early Halloween. Yeah, really. I don't know. I haven't really been looking around in the stores and everything. You know how that goes, right? I don't know how much stuff is out there. I don't even know. I haven't checked in the news if we're going to have a regular Halloween. I bet you We're not going to have a regular Halloween. We're not going to have a regular holiday season. And, I hate throwing, uh, that kind of stuff into the picture. But, realistically speaking, we'll all be wearing masks, but it's the situation itself, large crowds and everything. You guys already know that. So, I've been thinking too. Can I share this with you guys? I want to share something with you. Lewis says he looked into the stores and they are selling Ouija boards. Wow. What do you think about that? Let me ask all of you there. Hey, Totoki, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. What do you guys think about that? It's Halloween. People are selling Ouija boards. What's your thoughts? Lewis and everyone else that's watching right now, if you like, share your thoughts with me. What do you think about Ouija boards popping up around Halloween? For one, I think that's kind of crazy. Well, and that's because I already use spirit boxes. And I try to push myself away from the idea that, it's not really an Ouija board. You're talking to whoever's out there. Who can say it's not? Lewis is saying, I discovered there was only 4 left, and I did pick up one of the boxes in my hand and immediately put it back down. Don't get it. I agree. Totoki, I agree. Do not get it. Stay away from it. And Lewis, I think you did the right thing. But again, it's all for Halloween, right? Let's talk about Halloween. It's a big holiday. Everybody loves it. Aloha is saying, I think people don't take Ouija boards seriously when they really should. I agree. Aristocat, yup, I will not pick one up either. Like I said, it's bad enough I use a spirit box. It's bad enough that on the spirit boxes, for those of you that follow this channel, a lot of crazy things are said on that darn thing. When I went to that haunted building, that was like going on 2 weeks ago when I went to that haunted building and I started. If you watch that video, if you haven't, go ahead and mosey on over to that video after this if you want and listen to that video with the spirit box. It kept saying Shadow Man. At one point in that building, I was outside of a room where I was doing spirit boxes and I saw out of the corner of my eye what looked like a shadow person. And it kept saying Shadow Man. And even after that, it would say Shadow Man. So there's crazy things. I don't have to go through the list. You guys who watch, you already know the crazy things that spirit boxes say. And you got to make sure you close it out. You got to make sure that you do what is supposed to be spiritual law and that they obey that law when you say goodbye. Lewis is saying, I was planning on using a spirit box app on top of the Ouija board, but that would have made things worse. Yeah, you could be making an additional connection, which, how many of you have watched videos on YouTube with people using Ouija boards and everything went out of control? Let me know, because I've seen my fair share of that. And I don't think we want to be inviting things that don't want to leave once we invite them. And if we do forget that all important goodbye, who knows, right? That might be the one thing that will keep something near you and it'll be very difficult to get rid of. So heads up on that, people. Thank you, Lewis, for telling me that. I mean, the only question I have to ask besides that is, were the Ouija boards near the Halloween items? Or were they in another part of the store? Lewis is saying most of the people provoke or take their hands off the planchette all the time. Yep. That's another problem too. I mean, this is something that I do, right? I work in haunted places with spirits and all that stuff. Crazy to begin with. But yeah, my thoughts go into other things that they should not go into. Like, as an example, not so much the Ouija board, but I actually thought about a seance. It actually went through my head. Should we do a seance? And see what happens with that. I came close to something like that many years ago, and there was a lot of really strange, spooky things that happened. And I will not, it wasn't quite a seance, but I will not go all the way in, have a trance medium or something like that there, and having a spirit talk to that person and everything else. I will not do the seance. But I think these all fit within the same thing. It's all within the same topic. It's communication. And there are times where I'm pretty sure when I do a spirit box and then I walk away from the spirit box that it's not over. It's not. Even though I say goodbye and everything else. Josh Chi, it's so good to see you. Thank you for being here tonight. I don't think it's over. I'll give you one example. If you guys remember when I went to downtown doing the super moon that we had recently, and all that crazy stuff happened during that spirit box session, when I was done and over with everything, I did not feel like it was over at all. The way I best describe these things is unfinished business. And, hopefully, and I'm sure it is the case. I'm quite sure it is the case that there are other people possibly having this discussion with their audience. That's why I like Talk in the Dark. We're really talking. We don't have to have the Zoom screen or anything like that. We'll just talk. Although that would be nice to have too. So I'm not knocking that down either. But, you have that conversation, have that discussion. What do you think about these things? Because they're still going to be here no matter what. And there are still people that are going to do them. Look at me, right? If I do that's what I was thinking. If I do Man Camera Ghost 3, or I am going to do it, should I use a spirit box? So for those of you that are watching right now or later on, you can drop a comment if you like. Should I use a spirit box in Man Camera Ghost 3? You can either leave me a post here or drop it down in the comments. Should I or should I not be messing around with that? Especially since when I do Man Camera Ghost 3, it's going to be right around Halloween. So your input is very important as well too. I'm here to facilitate something that you find of interest, but at the same time, I do have to look out for my own personal safety as well. And like I said, we just had crazy things happen, manifestations and such. I was here with my friend who's with me here now. We did a spirit box at this location, and we had crazy stuff happen, foul smells and everything. And that's not a good sign, some other stuff too, but I don't want to try to draw the attention of whatever is around. I don't want to draw their attention that much. So again, do you think I should? Because I have another idea for Man Camera Ghost 3. Thankfully, I have a plan B. But do you think I should do the spirit box? Let me know. I'm also going to have some guests during that month. I know during the month of Halloween, a lot of people in the community that I'm in, they're very busy doing other things as well. I am going to probably have a conversation within the next couple of weeks about that Ghost Hunter tour that I'm thinking about doing, which the last time I did it in 2016, again, at the end of the night, it just went crazy. It was terrifying. I don't ever want to see that ever happen again. I do not want to have someone get affected, which is basically what happened. Someone got really, really, there were a couple of people that were affected, but one person in particular, my heart goes out to that person, went through a lot. Carol, it's good to see you. Oh, thank you for the like. I appreciate it. Whoever gave me that. I really appreciate that. But I still want to do something where, we get closer to a reality of haunted places, here or elsewhere, and we can kind of like maybe come to our own conclusions. Is the haunting caused by the story of the place, or is there something else going on? That's always been my That's always been my motto, practically. The ghost story within the ghost story itself. So that is still something that's going to very much so be on the table. And then I haven't gotten word yet from any of you because I checked my email. But if you have a story, oh, one person did share a story, so I got to take that back. One person did share a story when I asked about encounters that you had, and then I of course will read those as well if that does happen. Aloha is saying, I think if you're comfortable with it, do it. See how you feel that day. Well, that's a good idea, but the tough part is you can feel a certain way, right? Right up to the point that you go to the actual location. You're all set. I got the cameras on. YouTube is rolling. All of you are situated and you're watching, and then everything just changes, right? So yeah, it's tough. But yeah, if you feel good about it, then that's one thing to consider. Another thing is if I make an announcement, if I'm going to go somewhere and do a spirit box and so forth, I could be going onto location. I'm on my way there, and weird things are happening. Those things, for some reason, are very real to me, and they do occur. And I'm already going to the location, so it's a tough one to call. But it's a very good thing that you said, Aloha. Very good thing that you said. The paranormal is 100% wild card. Always. You cannot say, oh, when I go here, this is what's going to happen that night. Every single time I've gone out, you already heard me say this before, but something different happens. Absolutely different. Sometimes it's really, really crazy. Sometimes it's kind of crazy. Sometimes I'm lucky. Sometimes when a lot of things don't happen, I got to be honest with all of you, I'm kind of like relieved. Like, oh, it didn't get that bad tonight. Nothing came out of the dark and tried to spook me really badly, although that happens a lot of the times too. So definitely, let's look at that for sure. I will be doing man, camera, ghost. Let me see what someone said. Carol A says, Obaki, when was it that we, the audience, had a chance to tell our stories, even if they're not in Hawaii? I accept every story, every single story. Ghosts are a universal thing. Throughout the world, we all have these experiences. So any story is welcome. If you want to share an experience that happened to you, let me give you my email now, and I'll give it to you at the end of this live stream. So the email for that is obakehunter51@gmail.com. OBAKEHUNTER 51@gmail.com. I'll be dropping that link again. Well, I'll be telling you the link at the end of the live stream. So since we're so close to Halloween, if you folks want to start sharing your stories, put them up there now, and I'll have a audience night. Stories from our little group of people. I'll come up with a great title for it, trust me. Just like I did with H3. H3 was a fantastic one. Thank you, Aloha. You're such a great moderator. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's my email. If you want to go ahead and share something with me, if I get about, let's go with about 10. If I get like 10 stories, then I'll do a show. Or maybe I'll do a show. Wait, I'll take that back. I might mix some of that in with an idea that I have. But I want to do a show with stories from our listeners. I want to do a show about that. I want to hear what you've experienced. Or if you can get it from somebody else and they don't mind you sharing it, then put that up there as well. And I already know, I would have to look it up because I asked permission. I have this fantastic friend that shared like 2 or 3 really spooky stuff that I would love to share right around Halloween with all of you. So that's another great thing to do. Something like that. In the past, I've asked people, where do you want me to go, to do ghosting, right? I never say ghost hunting. Well, sometimes I'll say it. But where do you want me to go ghosting? And some of these places are really like, wow. Just to get there is incredible. But I can see why you ask, because like a lot of places here, they're legit. they are truly, absolutely haunted. With everything, manifestations and just other types of encounters with some of the places that you have requested me to go to. So I try to keep it within my means, to be able to go to these places and do things. But again, geez, there's this pandemic, but again, look at the pros and cons. Pros is these places are very, very interesting that you suggest. The cons are pandemic. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. I want to have at least, there's 4 weeks in October. So, maybe if I can do it for you, I'll do like one thing each week. If it's within sanity. I got to use the word sanity, guys. If it's within sanity's sake and I can do it, then yeah, all things considered that I've mentioned to you folks tonight. Yeah, if it's within that means, then I'll do it. Koniko Kid. One of the most awesome people, like all the rest of you, that comes onto this channel and, shares a little chit chat with all of us. The stories are good. The ghost tour sounds great. With Man Camera Ghost 3, it just depends on how I do it. But maybe one other thing as well would be really, really nice. Or, I can reach out to the paranormal community and see what they say. Hawaiian Hauntings mentioned sanity, and what did I miss? The lack of sanity, Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Punohu from Hawaiian Hauntings. Thank you for being here, my friend, this evening. Yeah, that's the part two. But I don't think there is truly sanity. Good to see you, Joe. I don't think there's real sanity. I mean, there's some semblance of sanity. That's how we give people an idea. We give them our opinions on what's going on, but you have to put yourself sometimes in places where that word really does not exist. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. As a matter of fact, I got to get a hold of Joe about. We also do things in this community where we don't publish it. We don't put it on most platforms. Some of them are okay. But for me to mention some of these places, especially around this time of the year, I'm glad Joe is here because I know me and Joe have gone out. And I said it before, but it always bears mentioning at this time of the year. And we see people out there, and there's a word for it, legend tripping. They know that there's a legend out there and they want to have an experience with that. And Joe, I love, because I remember in the past we've gone to places and Joe will be like a 360, like, okay, there's a bunch of people over there. Let's go and tell them what really goes on in these places. And we will just stop what we're doing and we will turn around and we will go back and we will talk to these people and just let them know, just kind of like heads up, be aware that these type of situations can occur. And to be honest, it's good to share a scary encounter or so. And Joel's really good at that because he is a fantastic storyteller. And I do my best as well. And then we let them know, yeah. So if you want to get an idea about these places, do everybody a favor. Tune into like a channel like this. Tune into Hawaiian Hauntings and hear what's said about these places and these situations and stuff. So you get an idea, right? Without having to do anything but sit at home. You can't really beat that part, That's really, really the best thing to do. So especially if we do the Ghost Hunters tour, which I really, really want to do, we would have people like Joe Punohu sharing, fantastic content on the places that we visit. And again, since it's a Ghost Hunters tour, like someone like Joe or myself, we can tell you what goes on, our own personal opinions, of what happens there. I was thinking of maybe throwing in a spirit box session at some of these places because, for one, I'll give you an example. Places like up in Manoa, I have not really gone full on with a spirit box session. I've done something similar to it, but not really done that. But I think, in my opinion, that would add on a little bit more to the storytelling as well. As a matter of fact, you can add storytelling to the spirit box, so that would be very intriguing to do. And then again, try to add some places that we didn't do last time. Now, last time we did it, you know, like I said, it went crazy at the end. We didn't do that many locations, but maybe it's because the veil really is thin. You know, maybe they tune in like how all of you tune in. These spirits really do tune in. And, you know, they will do what they want, of course, to let us know about them. So, but I have some ideas. I'm thinking Manoa, since Joe is here. Manoa would be one. It might be a good place to start with. Tantalus would be another great place because it just goes crazy up there. Manoa goes crazy, Tantalus goes crazy. Then again, you know, Manoa can be quiet. I've been up in Manoa and yeah, things happen, but it's not all crazy. You know, if I were to just sit down and tell you, okay, this is Manoa, let me tell you everything that's happened with me and Joe and everyone else, that would be a lengthy discussion just for one place. So yeah, who knows? Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's Uber. We'll just hui our resources. We can Uber and do it that way. That's a really good idea. So you don't have to have cars around and stuff too for various reasons. Good one, Joe. Lewis is saying, my spirit box only has been picking up a conversation between a man and a woman. Like a consistency. Like, do you think that what is happening is the same spirits having the same discussion? Is that what you're saying?
I'm gonna be locking this gate once I come from out the inside. Once I come from locking the restroom.
Oh, okay.
On my way out, I'm gonna lock this gate.
All right, man. Thank you for the information. That's the guard over here. So, guys, we're gonna have to cut this short. That's the guard that you just heard. But Halloween is coming up. We are gonna get some stuff rolling. And it's going to be very interesting. No two ways about it. And I look forward to sharing more and more with you. I'll do another Talk in the Dark. Joe, if you're still here, I'll be contacting you. And we'll get some stuff going, guys. But I wanted to let you know where we're at right now and all the things that are going on. Thank you always for watching. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Maybe it's a good idea that we leave right now, because this is the place of the tall man. Thank you guys for watching Ghosts of Hawaii. They're directed towards you. We'll have a conversation about that, Lewis. We will. Peace, my friends. Ghosts of Hawaii, your home for a dose of ghosts. And sometimes people telling us that we have to leave. Who knows? That might be a good thing or not. Take care, everybody. I will talk to you again soon. I'll be doing this from my place, so it'll be a lot better.